Hey guys, garden update time. As you can see, it's time to weed. But this is my kale. It's coming up real nicely. This is nut grass. It just comes right out. But next year, hopefully, I'll be able to have everything mulched and tarped, so I don't have to deal with as many as weeding as much as I do now. But I kind of enjoy the process as well. But you see my onions? Look at those bad boys. So those are the purple onions. Those are the yellow onions. You see they're sitting up about 6 inches. They've already grown about 6 inches up. I set out some rutabaga. Got rutabaga right here. And I got rutabaga on the other side. And these are my mustard greens. They're doing pretty well. They're coming up. It's a little, like I said, everything's a little late this year. But they're getting there. And this year I've seen the most freaking dandelions. I know there are people who eat dandelions. I don't eat dandelions out the yard. It's different when they come from like a, a garden environment. And this is the parsley is coming up. And then this is my beautiful, fragrant rosemary. Love it. So the kale, the seed pods, these are the seed pods on the kale. So the flowers are dropping off now. So I wait for those to start looking dry, and then I'll harvest them and beat the seeds out, and I'll have kale seeds for next year. These are my wild onions. They're setting now. They're making their seeds now. This is the other rutabaga on this side. I had a tomato plant volunteer. I'm not sure where it came from, but it volunteered, so we'll let it grow. And as soon as these onions in these pots get bigger, can you see how they are? As soon as they get bigger, I'll go ahead and weed. I don't want to upset their roots yet. Some of this stuff I can just go ahead and pull out. But I don't want to risk pulling out some of the little onions, because this is the first time I've grown this variety of candy onions. So yeah. Not many of them came up as I had hoped. My tomatoes, these are the Triple L tomatoes. They'll be ready to set out in a little while if this weather stays like this. These are the California bell pepper seeds. They're up now. My Hungarian sweet pepper seeds, they're up. And my Neapolitan peppers, they're up. The Scotch bonnets are finally making an appearance. The Sac 7 pods are making an appearance. Still haven't seen any of the Fatalis yet. And or the red Scotch bonnets that I got from Saks 59. Those haven't made an appearance yet, but it's possible. These are jalapenos, and they're doing great, as you can see. I finally got some more of my Copenhagen cabbage to germinate. Hoping that I'll get a few more. As you can see, only one broccoli germinated out of this set. That may be a second one there germinating, or it could be a weed, who knows. And then I have three eggplants now, seeds that have germinated, and I purchased 2 last night. My Alaska peas, I have enough to get a decent yield just for our family. The okra, as you can see, only 2 okra. Gotta replant the okra. And none of my hot paper lanterns came up. My naga, none of those came up, and my cayenne. So none of these have yet to make an appearance, and they probably won't at this stage. The Yamada cucumbers, none of those came up. So yeah, that's gardening. You don't always get what you want. Everything you plant isn't gonna always come up. And the leeks, these are the leeks. They're starting to come up. So I'm not gonna weed until they get a little bit bigger. And I'll weed along the edges, but I'm not gonna touch where they are actually sprouting from. I'll show you guys over here. is where I set out my cucumbers. These are the bush variety. They're not supposed to get too, viney, but we'll see. And those are my Crochet squash right there. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. I think there's 4 Crochet plants. And then those are my eggplant. I got the Japanese, the long ones, and along the fence line, those are my sunflowers. I always plant my sunflowers along the fence line. They do very well there. And I can also stake them to the top if they start looking like they're going to be, windy. And there's some more cucumbers right there. And those are my potato beds. I have a volunteer sunflower from last year. Nothing's coming up in the potato beds yet, other than grass. But it's early yet, and they'll be popping up soon. But let me go show you the fun part. Okay, as you can see, this is my raspberry bush, and then this is my blackberry bush. See the pretty flowers? We're gonna check there's my chicory. Oh yeah, I put some squash down here. See, squash. And then there's some more volunteer sunflowers. And here's my sassafras. It's doing very well this year. But this is the second year. This is the strawberry patch. Okay? This is the slug bar. Slug bar number 1. As you can see, all those dead slugs in the slug bar. And as you where did I see that one at? Oh yeah. And which is awesome because my strawberries are starting to ripen. And this is a wild strawberry. I decided to just let these grow up in here with them. So we got wild strawberries too. But yeah, here's slug bar number 2. Isn't that awesome? All those dead slugs in there, man. And there's slug bar number 3. Let me step on my brick. That's slug bar number 3. So beer bars for slugs are an awesome idea. Aha. Here's one of them daggone flowers that make me sneeze like the devil. Somebody said they're called Star of Bethlehem. I hate those things, man. I hate them with a passion. Yeah, we got spiders out here. I'll wait till I get my 7 dust over here. After the strawberries finish, I'll fix them spiders. I can't stand spiders. I know they're good, but just don't be where I'm going to be. If you're going to be where I'm going to be, you got to go. Be somewhere else in the garden, along the fence line, over there in the bushes and weeds. But don't be where I got to be putting my hands and stuff at. I'm tired of getting bit by mysterious things. So, yeah. All this has to be planted. Stuff that doesn't come up, I'm just going to go ahead and make some rows. Get my corn down. Get my sugar cane down. Get my lima beans down. Stuff like that. I'm just going to go ahead and plant it. I'm tired of waiting on this stuff in the trays, so I'm just going to go ahead and start planting. If there's no room to put you, there's no room to put you. It's not my fault. You should have germinated faster. Oh, yeah. So, I forgot which herb I planted in there, but I'll know when it gets bigger because I forgot to put my steak in there. My basil is coming up good, this one. The cilantro, coriander, looks like only one germinated out of that. All those I put in that pot. It makes me wonder if this is another cilantro, and these are coming up good. I'm glad I planted more than one variety. But then again, I only just planted these last week, and then we got that little cool period, so they might germinate late. And what's this? The common thyme, in that one. So, and then there's cilantro down here. It's coming up. Looks like that's the tomatoes from last year coming up. So, yeah, I'll just let it do its thing, and then I'll weed once I can identify the plant. So, yeah, so I'm going to yarn from on the wall. That's lemongrass, and that tall, grassy-looking stuff in that pot, that's lemongrass. And then that's some more cilantro in that pot right there. And then there's some thyme in that big pot that's coming up. And yeah, the garden I think is going to be okay this year. Last year, I only had a few things. Like the kale, the mustard greens, the squash, no cucumber. Yeah, I had cucumbers and peas. But last year I didn't grow any beans last year because I got sick. So what I had already got it planted before I got sick is what I just took care of that. And then we had all that volunteer Jamaican callaloo. And it's none in the garden this year. I tried to get it all out before it's seeded again. So if some come up, I might save a couple of plants and let them grow. Because it is a very flavorful green. It's just, it's very invasive. It seeds very quickly as well. So this year, if any of it volunteers, I have to make sure I go through and break off the seed heads. And maybe just let one plant near the end of the season go to seed. If not, it'll be everywhere before you know it. So yeah. So alright, I'm going to my meeting and I will talk to you guys later. So enjoy the dirt shot. But I'll let you go leave with the onions and the nut grass coming up in the onions. So you see I'm starting to weed and mulch. So next year I hope to have some tarps and stuff.